This is a project I'm working on, and I have quilted quite a large area of this. Here's something I want to show you. I have quilted this area, all of these areas down through here, but notice there are blank, unquilted areas in this, and I didn't want to leave those. So I came up with a triangular pattern to fill those spaces in. Did that along the top and in the rows here. And I've just filled these in to give you an idea of what it looks like after I do that. I do not quilt these triangle patterns in this repeat patterns edge to edge group. It would be too difficult to select those triangular patterns and to adjust them. See, when you have something like this and you try to select maybe a small individual pattern, see, it worked okay that time, but let me look down here at this one. See, when I clicked inside of this triangle, it selected a pattern over here, and I'll try it again, and it selected another pattern. Eventually, I would be able to select those patterns. Well, they're all combined because I rubber stamped them just to put them in here to show you, but it would be difficult. So I made a group called Try, and this is the group that I use to place all of these triangular patterns in between the rows of the edge to edge. So I'll show you how I'm going to do all of that. I'm ready to quilt these next two rows. I can quilt two rows, and I'll show you different features that I'm using, like fill inside to get rid of this excess hanging out here, and other features. So I'm going to make a boundary and adjust these patterns to fit. I have the boundary drawn, and you can see that I have excess on this pattern on the left and on the right in this row. So what I'm going to do here is select this row, and I'll go ahead and select both rows because I need to pull both rows out a little bit to the right. Just about like that will work. And oh, that's good for that, and this row looks okay. What I'm going to do now is use fill, and I will select this repeat, right click, do fill inside. I'm doing this with the mouse on screen, waiting for it to complete its calculation. I will select this repeat, and I'll just go down to this fill inside icon and let it remove this excess part of the pattern. So I'm finished with that. Since I can quilt two rows, I want to quilt this row left to right and this row right to left. And I could go in and set the sew order and all this, but I'm not going to do it that way. I'll show you the sew order. 70 starts with 74, ends with 80, then starts over here with 81 and 86 at the end of that row. So I'm going to do it a different way. I will select this repeat and use this order join icon. See, it's highlighted all of these repeats, telling me that yes, it has set the sew order in this row, and now this row ends over here. I will select the first repeat on the left of this top row, And I'm just going to right click and do a fill inside this way. So you can do that either way. You can use the mouse and do a fill inside, or you can use the fill inside icon. I have these two rows all set, and let's look at the sewing order. I'll click the sewing order. Sewing order starts with it should have started with, okay, 0 here, but it should have been there. I'm going to have to redo some of this. Click my sewing order. Okay. I'm going to right click this one, do a order join. Okay, it did that. I'm going to click this one and do order join. Then I'm going to check my sewing order again, see what happens. Okay, here it is, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 6, 7, then 2 through 12. So I did it correctly this time. That happens sometimes. Click sew order to accept that. Now I'm ready to stitch these two rows, and then I will fill in these triangles in this area and in this area after I've quilted these two rows. I am finished with these two rows. I'm going to delete my boundary because I don't need it. I will draw a new boundary when I quilt the next two rows. So my next item to quilt will be the triangles that will fill in the unquilted spaces in these areas like this. So I will go to the triangle group. Now notice I have all of these connected with a line so that they would sew continuously left to right and then right to left. I don't need these because I need to place all of these triangles in the different spaces and then quilt them out. So I'm going to delete all of these lines, and then I'll put them back in after I adjust the triangles in their perspective spaces. Sometimes a little difficult just to select a line. I'll select this pattern and use the greater than key to move over and delete it. So sometimes you have difficulty, and that's what's great about the greater than, less than, the 4 arrows up and down and all that. I'll just continue to delete these. And again, it's giving me a bad time, so I'll use the greater than key to get over there and delete it. And I've got that one. So I'm going to delete all of these lines and set up my boundary, adjust the patterns, and then I'll show you how I accomplish the quilting. All of the connecting lines have been deleted, so I will put in my boundary and then I'll place these patterns. Okay, you can see I have my boundaries drawn and I have my triangular patterns here in. I'll have to individually adjust those patterns to fit in each individual boundary. So I'll start the process of doing that. Now I can just grab this and kind of put it in place. Then I'll use the Control key and the up, down, right, left arrow to get this. Notice how this right there, how it changes color when it intersects with the boundary. And left, right, it looks fairly good. So I'll get this one. And I'll use the down arrow key to move this down. It'll change color, sort of, right there when it intersects that boundary. And I think I'll move it over to the right just a little bit. And this is a process I will continue to do all of this and adjust these to fit. That looks good. This one needs to come down. Then it needs to go left. So it'll take me a little while. I'll adjust all of these, and then I will show you the procedures that follow. All of the triangles have been adjusted into the boundaries. I'm going to remove these boundaries because I don't need them. I'll just delete that one, delete that one. Now I have to toggle all of these as unsewn so that I can stitch them out again. But first, I'm going to connect each triangle with a line so that I can make them stitch continuously. I want this row top to stitch left to right and the bottom one to stitch right to left. So I'm going to connect all of these. I'll just use Alt-L to get my line. I have the end snap turned on down here. So I'll left click, right click to get out of that. Left click, right click, right click, right click. And I'll just continue doing this until I get all of these connected so they will sew continuously. But I will have to do something to make them sew continuously. Okay, the last triangle here has been connected to this. And I'm just going to right click and then right click, and that gets me out of that. Now I have these all set, but they will not stitch continuously because the sewing order is all out of whack. I'll select the sewing order icon, and you can see how the sewing order is all jumbled up. Here we have 0, 1, and so on, and then you have 21, 22. So this wouldn't work. So I'm going to select this first. I'm going to select the last repeat in this right end of the second row, the bottom row. I'm going to select it. I am going to go down and click on Order Join. It all has been selected and the end is now here. So that tells me that yes, it has been order joined. So I'll select in the first repeat in the left side of the top row, and again I'll go over here and tell it to order join, and they are all highlighted. I'll just click to get out of that. It says start, next, and it ends here. Let's check the sewing order, and it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on down to 20, and then it's 21, 22, 23 back to the left. So yes, it's going to stitch left to right, then right to left. That's what I want. Okay, I finished quilting the triangles in those empty spaces, and I hope that maybe this tutorial will help some of you with some of the features of Creative Studio.